Hey guys, a very good evening to all of you. Welcome to the session from BYJU'S on tips to crack personal interviews. So friends, the CAT score is out. The CAT calls have started coming. I believe Calcutta gave out a call today. Lucknow has already given out a call. We'll be expecting some of the top IIMs to come out with the calls going forward. ZAT was done about a couple of days ago, and I'm sure the ZAT results will be out very soon. So we have a ton of results coming your way. So the next step for all of you is, in your minds that is how should we go ahead and crack the interview phase. So today I'm going to handle what happens in an interview, how do you handle these questions, these things, and basically what is it that you should prepare, or to what extent should you prepare in these areas. So that is what I have in store for you. So let's go ahead and take a look at the tips to crack your personal interview. Okay, so let's begin by the first the first step, which is the agenda. So I have a ton of things I need to understand, rather make you understand the purpose for a personal interview. Why do they have this personal interview? They have already tested your mental acumen, right? They've had a entrance exam for you. So then why should they again interview you? What is the purpose behind it? Let's discuss that. Because if you know the intent of the examiner or the interviewer in front of you, you will be able to figure out how to answer them and convince them. Next is what are the basic checklist of items that you should be aware of. Okay, so we're going to take a look at that. Then we will be looking at broadly in an interview what are the various areas you should focus on. So there are about 6 or 7 areas that an interviewer can broadly touch upon. We are going to look at what are these 6 or 7 areas going to be. Then we're going to talk about how should one address the panelists. So you will be in an interview hall, there will be 2 or 3 panelists in front of you. How should you talk to the panelists? What is accepted, what is not accepted? Because, and please remember my friends, these are very serious and senior gentlemen, professors who have been training students. They would have seen hundreds and thousands of students like you in their lifetime. For many of you, their age will be double of your entire age. So please keep that in mind. You have to treat them with respect. We'll see what should absolutely not be done at all. What are the things that you can do when you're talking to the panelist. Then we'll move on and talk about how should you handle something that is out of the blue, something that you didn't prepare for. How should you handle that? Obviously, it cannot be like CAT. There is nothing that we can prepare everything. You will never say that I'm fully prepared for CAT. There will always be something which can be a surprise. Similarly, in an interview also, you cannot prepare everything. There will be something that will come your way which is not as per your expectation. So in such a scenario, what should you do? So that's what we have in store. And of course, because of that, you'll be getting caught off guard. What should you do when you get caught off guard, right? Well, there are certain pointers which I would like to talk to you about if you are having an afternoon or late evening interview. Particularly these two phases, I will tell you why these are important for you to keep in mind, and how a morning interview will be different from an afternoon or post lunch and a very late evening interview. Okay, so we will take a look at these things. And finally, when the interview is over, there will be few things that need to be taken care of. We'll be talking about those also. Okay, so first, understanding the purpose of an interview. So why do they have this interview process? As I already said, they have tested your mental acumen. They have seen how smart you are by asking you a bunch of questions. You already proved your worth in terms of the written ability. Therefore, you have been asked to sit in front of them. But why are they asking you to have this second round? Because what they tested earlier is your technical ability, your maths, English, DILR or decision making or whatever other topics. These are academic in nature. What they did not check is your candidature as a person. How are you as a student? How are you as a person to deal with? Are you prone to anger? Are you a person who is having very strong opinions? Are you a person who brings value to the table? Are you a person who is able to learn things quickly? And when I say learn things, I'm not talking about maths and economics and things like that. I'm talking about behavioral issues, learning from your mistakes, learning from others' behaviors. So are you a person as a whole who is going to fit into the college or not? So that is what they want to check, and that unfortunately cannot be tested by your traditional means. Yes, there are certain ways in which you can test that also. There are psychometric tests and all. However, to my understanding and my belief, personal interview still is the best way to judge a person's character compared to all of those tests that are out there. Hence, they would want to have this personal interview. Please remember, guys, once they select you and you graduate from that college, you will represent that college. So they are very cautious about who is going to come into this college for them, because you will be carrying their college's name with you. You do some silly things later on in your life, it will reflect badly on your college. Every time your name is dragged through the mud, the college's name will also be dragged through the mud, saying that this XYZ student of ABC college did this fraud. So they want to check, do you have the propensity for these kind of things or not? They'll check a lot of such things. Okay. So let's move on and take a look at the second thing. Yes, I already mentioned that these are the things that exam like CAT cannot test. I've given you a lot of examples what CAT cannot test. Okay. And yes, of course, are you a suitable candidate for an MBA? Because remember, MBA is not just about learning finance, marketing, etc., etc. It's not by hearting or understanding the concept and dumping it down. Yes, that is a very significant part. But you are a business administrator. It means you are not just looking at numbers and Excel sheets. You are also dealing with people. So how amicable are you as a person is also what they want to check. Okay. So let's go ahead and take a look at what are some of the basic checklists that you should keep in mind before going to an interview. Okay. Now, there are two formats, online interview versus offline interview. I don't know how many of them are still doing online. Online was predominantly done during the pandemic. 2020 was full online. 2021 also was majority online. 22 slowly they came from online to offline. A lot of them did offline interviews. 23, quite a few of them did offline interviews, and 24, I believe, this year now. I will, in my sense, I think they'll always be almost be 95-99% of them going to have offline interviews, because they love offline interviews. So let's take a look at, but still that small online percentage of interviews, what should you do? What should you keep in mind? Whether it's an online or offline, the dress code is formals. Now, what is formals, guys? For those for boys or men, the formals are business formals. You have to have a blazer. Suit. If you have a suite, that's good. You need to have top and the trouser, then a tie. Worst case scenario, many of them ask, sir, what if I don't have a suit? No problem. Have a full sleeves, plain shirt, single color, and a matching trouser with a tie. This is a good appearance. That is a bare minimum I would recommend. Okay. And the best is if you have a suit, that's good. If you don't have a suit, that's fine. Tie, full hands, and a trouser matching is good enough. Now for women, again, what is a formal? Business formals, again for women, suits are good. Even saris are acceptable. Okay, I would never recommend anybody to go with a chudidar. Saris or suits. These are the two acceptable things for interviews for women. Okay, so please keep these things in mind. Okay. Now moving on to the second part, well groomed. Again, please don't go with a huge beard and all. Yes, if you have any obligations for sporting a beard, keep a neatly trimmed beard, nothing wrong with it. As much as possible, if there is no such obligation, go clean shaved. Yes, you can have a mustache, not a problem, but again, neatly trimmed, clean shaved, properly groomed. Please don't go with a shabby hairstyle. All your hairstyles, keep it aside for some time. Please go as a presentable person there. For women, please go in again. Don't go with all these wacky hairstyles. Keep it simple. Keep it formal. Okay. Yes, of course, you need to check for internet connectivity. I have seen a lot of students being rejected simply because their internet connectivity was bad. Now, please remember, guys, it's a very important part of your selection process, right? It is your job to make sure that the internet connection is good. They would not want to hear, sir, my internet connection is bad, my power is out, my this is not there, my that is not there. They have given you prior notice. They are not saying that today morning you got the letter, today evening you come for an interview. They are giving you a lot of days to make sure that that 30 minutes of time that you have for them is going without a glitch. If you can't do that, what manager will you be? You can't manage your own interview. You are not a manager material for me. That's how they will look at it. So it is not their problem if you have a problem with your internet connectivity. Whatever, by hook or by crook, make sure that for that day the internet connectivity is spotless. They really get irritated when the internet connectivity is breaking, they can't hear your voice, it is dropping off. They really basically say, yeah, this guy is not serious at all, because it is you could have traveled anywhere, sat for 30 minutes and given the interview from some of the best places in possible, only for one day. You can do that. That shows your seriousness. Okay, but let's move on. Yes, and the other thing is they absolutely will need no disturbances. They don't want any interruptions. So close yourself in a room, close the door, tell everybody, put your phone on silent. Very important, whether online or offline, your phone must be on silent mode. It is really embarrassing for you if the phone rings and the interview is ongoing. It's really going to be really funny for them in a bad way for you. Okay, so don't do that. That's a common mistake. People forget to switch it off or put it on silent mode. Ideally, I would say you don't have to switch it off, but put it on silent mode, not even vibration mode. Okay, but make sure that there are no disturbances. Your parents not coming to check you out, your friends not coming to see what you're doing, your I don't know, whoever in the house, you have a pet, your dog is not running all over the place. Make sure that you are the only one who's captured in the video without any disturbing noises. There's a construction happening near your house, please go somewhere else. Go to somebody else's house. I don't care. Make sure that half an hour goes error free. Okay. And yes, you need to have all the documents in the soft copies. They will already mention typically what are the documents you need. Normally it is 10th class certificate, 12th class certificate, graduation certificate, work experience certificate, any prizes or competitions that you have mentioned there, those certificates. Anything else, I think any medals or anything that you mentioned in your form that you fill saying that I have achieved this, a certificate to back it up is what they will expect you to have. And usually these are not checked by the faculty, this is checked by another team that does the document verification. It's a separate process which will be done on that day itself by a different team. They would want to see all of these in order, right? And yes, have a white paper, bunch of papers and a pen which is functional ready, because just because it is online does not mean that it's only going to be verbal. Sometimes they can give you a task for you to do, a question for you to solve, a problem for you to crack, whatever, and you are expected to do it then and there. So have papers and pens with you, both online and offline. Okay. And of course, don't speak too closely into the mic. Keep it a bit far away, because when you speak very closely into the mic, it gives a kind of bad kind of an echo. We recommend students to keep at least about 5 centimeters away from your mouth. Don't keep it, directly into your mouth. The mic should be slightly away. Yes, background lighting, the best way to have a lighting is the light should be falling onto you, not behind you. When the light is behind you, your face will get obscured because of the lighting. So make sure that the light falls onto you. Clear? Right. So these are the basic things. And yes, if it is online, log in half an hour before. In fact, it's mentioned 15 to 20. I would say log in half an hour before, so that if you forget anything, you'll have time to worry about. If it is offline, you will have to be there at least 1 hour before. Okay, we'll talk about it in the offline part. Okay, and when you enter, or rather here, when you enter a room, for the room in this case it is the virtual room, basically your Zoom or whatever channel they're using, probably a Gmeet. When you enter, smile, wish them pleasantly, good morning ma'am, good morning sir, very good afternoon to you, whatever. Be nice, right? Let's do the same. Take a look at the checklist for offline, which is more pertinent for you guys. It's more relevant for you guys right now. Again, dress code I've already explained to you. Formals, well groomed, has to be there. Hard copies, here it is hard copies, not soft copies anymore, because you're going to go there with your physical file of documents. Once again, the document verification will not be done by the faculty members. It will be done by a separate team before you go into the interview. So that will be done. Then now here is a important part. The difference between online and offline is online you'll be in a waiting room, they'll suddenly push you into the room. Here you'll be waiting outside, then they'll say okay, you can go in. So when you're going in, there'll be a door, right? When there's a door, open the door, peep in, and then say, sir, may I come in? Or you knock the door before, ideally, say, sir, can I come in? They will say, yes, come in. Then only you should get in. Don't just open and walk in as if it's your room. No, it is not. It is their room. It is their space. You are invading into their space, although you have been invited. So please remember, you are going into their space, so you have to maintain the proper decorum. So please knock or turn the handle, just say, sir, can I come in? They will say yes. Or sometimes they will be having the marks of the previous person discussing about him. They'll say, no, give us a few minutes. Then you'll go out and stand nicely. Okay, so be polite that way. And of course, the same thing here. Smile and wish them, but offline you can actually physically see them. Online you're only looking at the camera. Here you have to physically see them, wish each one individually. Good morning, sir. Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, sirs. Good morning, sir. Something like that. You look at each one, make eye contact. Don't keep your eyes low or look somewhere else. Make proper eye contact and wish them well. Okay. Which also reminds me, in online mode, guys, you will always have to look at the camera, not the screen. The problem is many of you will look at the screen, unfortunately, to see yourself in an online interview. So what's the good part about seeing yourself? You have seen that a lot of times, millions of times in the mirror. You will have to focus on the camera lens when you're talking about online. Look at me right now. I'm talking to you. I'm not looking at the screen down. I have a screen down right now. But whenever you look at it, you can see that I'm looking down. But when I want to talk to you as an individual, I'll have to look into the camera screen lens. So please make sure that you look into the lens of the camera when you're giving the interview, not into the screen. Okay? Anyway, now the second part, you will walk in. Once you walk in, there will be a table. They will be sitting on this side of the table and there will be 1 or 2 chairs on the other side. Please don't drag the chair and then just sit in. Say, sir, can I have a seat? They will usually say, yes, please sit down. Once in a while, I've come across situations where they will not respond or they'll say, no, you may not. They just want to see how they're just playing around with you. So when they say you cannot, sure, sir, thank you, I'll just stand. Have a smile. Don't show that you're worried for everything. So what? Who says that you should sit and give an interview? You can always stand and give the interview too. You are there to answer them, not to sit and relax. So it doesn't matter. If they want to play around with you, they will do that kind of thing and you should take it in your stride. Show them that I really don't care. I'm here with my full preparation. I'm confident. They will love it. Okay. But anyway, when you have a chance to sit, please, sir, can I take a chair? Can I have a seat? They will say usually yes. 99% they'll say yes. Please sit down. Without dragging the chair. Please lift, keep, and then push yourself forward. Don't drag. Okay. Now the next important thing here in offline, please don't take your dump of documents and put it on the table. No. You are carrying a file with you. A pen should be in your pocket. Probably 2 or 3 white papers with a pad should be readily available with you at the beginning of the file, but you are not supposed to keep the file in front of them unless they ask you to. Remember, the table that is in front of you and them belongs to them. It's their space once again. You want to use the table. When they ask you to write something down, you can, sir, I would like to just use the space and write this thing down or solve this down. Be polite. Take permission for everything. Don't assume that this belongs to you. Okay? Anyway, let's move on. As I said, be polite. Ask for permission if you want to use the table. Pen is yours, so you can use it. If you don't have a pen, you can. That's the worst situation. But in case you land up in a situation like that for whatever reason, sir, can I just borrow a pen? They'll ask you don't carry a pen. You need to have an answer ready for that. Why you're not having a pen? So as I said, that is the worst case scenario. Carry your pen. Use your pen. Solve whatever they ask. As I said, carry white sheets, pens, pencils. That needs to be there. Plan to reach 45 to 1 hour early. Some of you will be having the interviews in your hometown. Some of you will have to travel elsewhere. When you're going to a different place, I would recommend that you go 1 day early. See where you have to go and go 1 hour plan in such a way that you reach 1 hour early, so that if there is any delay, you will have a good 1 hour to compensate for the delay. Please don't say, okay, Google Map shows 35 minutes to go. My interview is at 1:30. I will start at something like 12:55. No, you have to reach there by 1:30. Your Google Map says 35 minutes. You start at least 12. At least. Before that, good. So that you reach there by 12:35 and you don't mind waiting for an hour. Okay, relax. Right, now let's take a look at what are the areas to prepare. Now these are the areas which are asked in 99% of the cases. That's what I'm going to talk about. Okay. So first is the introduction. Now what is this introduction? Introduction is asked in almost, in my observation, almost 100% of the cases. Almost 100%. Okay, there's something wrong. Let me see why this is happening. Okay. Let me correct this. Yes, I think this should be fine now. So almost 100% of the cases you'll be having your introduction. I have mentioned 99%, but actually more or less they'll ask you the introduction. Please remember, why do they do that? Everybody knows they're going to ask it. They also know that you are coming prepared for the answer. You also know they will definitely ask you. Why are they still doing it? It's a free rein given to you for the first 2-3 minutes to help you relax. Remember that. The moment you sit, if I start asking you about thermodynamics or economics or some such thing, you will be really flustered. They usually don't want to tense a student. Yes, there are some pressure interviews, but mostly the interviews are normal. Especially some of the interviews like Bangalore and all, they are going to be very chilled out interviews. They want to discuss who you are, what kind of a person you are. They don't want to unnecessarily stress you. So almost 95-96% of the cases, they want the person, the student to feel, the interviewer wants the student to feel free. So they will ask you something that you have already well prepared. That is the reason why introduction becomes very, very important, because you know they will ask, they know you are already prepared. And if this you mess up, then it shows that despite leaking the question paper, it's that sense. They know, you already know they are going to ask. You still didn't prepare. It's like saying that exam ka answer mujhe pata hai, exam ka question mujhe pata hai, I'm lazy not to even read that. Why? Then why should I even bother about it? Many people think, sir, no, I will go there, I'll try to see what I can say. You are an idiot then. Everybody is going to prepare well. You are only the guy who's not putting the effort, saying that I will show my colors there, I'm going to ace it. You will not. Please remember, guys, 1 in a million can speak freely at a very short notice without preparing, and that 1 in a million may not be you. Right? So play safe, prepare well, go there well prepared for this answer at least. Okay? Now, what should you talk about? What is the duration? I would recommend anywhere between 1 to 1.5 minutes, not more than that. Why? More than 90 seconds, 1.5 minutes becomes boring unless you are a really good storyteller. Less than 60 seconds, boss, you are 22, 21 years of age or probably more, and you can't even speak about your life for 60 seconds. What life have you lived? That's the way to look at it. So if you are really captivating, you can go up to 2 minutes also, depending upon how good a storyteller you are. But minimum 1 minute you have to introduce yourself. Okay. Now there are different variations in which this can be asked. One is the plain old introduce yourself. Yeah, Mr. Srinivas, can you tell me something about yourself? That's one way of asking. Then they can say, they'll just put a face, they'll go through your CV after you sit, and then they will say the second way is, yeah, Srinivas, I've gone through your CV. I know quite a few things. Tell us something interesting about yourself. Don't bore me with all your details. They are very specific in that case. So your introduction should cater to their question in that sense. Or this also happens once in a while. What is this? Let's say they started discussion without an introduction. They spoke to you for 20-25 minutes. Interview is almost over. And then they say, Srinivas, good talking to you for the last so many minutes. I came to know a lot about you. Tell me something more about you that I don't know already about. So your entire preparation is gone down the window. You have spoken for 20-25 minutes. So you have to be having the presence of mind to think, is there anything that I did not tell them that I can speak about? So these type of questions do come. So you should be completely aware of who you are, what has been discussed there, and how do you make the question, an answer to the question the way it has been asked. Okay. The second topic to be prepared is your subject knowledge. Now, what is the subject knowledge? Your graduation subject. Graduation subject knowledge. Okay. If your work experience is less than 2 years, think of it as a rule. If your work experience is less than 2 years, guys, prepare 4 core graduation papers. Now, what is core graduation? I am using an example of engineering. I am an engineer, so I am using an engineering example. I am a mechanical engineer. The core mechanical engineering papers will be thermodynamics, internal combustion engines, probably air conditioning and refrigeration, probably energy conversion equipments, things like that, or your fluid mechanics, fluid dynamics, things like that, or strength of materials, any of these core engineering subjects. Please don't say, sir, I took an elective of finance and I like that. Please don't say that. You're going to make a fool of yourself there. For all you know, that guy might be a finance major, professor, readily waiting for you to say that statement, and then you're done. So stick to your core subjects. Even if you're weak, I don't care. You have to prepare 4. Okay. Now, out of these 4, at least 1 should be from a subject that you were horribly scored. So they will have your grade sheets. They will see how bad you have scored. So most likely they will look at the subjects that you score low. So pick 1 subject that you have scored low and 3 subjects that you have scored good, or at least 2 good and 2 weak subjects. That's how I would ask you to prepare. Okay. If the experience is greater than 2 years, then they will understand that, okay, you have spent some time in the industry. So we don't want to waste the entire time on your academics. So we will also talk about your work experience. Therefore, 2 core papers is enough. Again, 2 core papers, not electives, random electives. Okay. Yes, you need to have your basics of 10th and 12th. Please don't worry about the definition part. Understand the concept behind things, understand the logic behind things, understand why things have become the way they have. They are not going to ask you to derive a formula ever. Neither are they going to ask you to tell me the formula there. Very rare. Mostly they're going to talk about the applications of this. Where is this used? What is this? Explain this to me. That's how they'll ask. Okay. As I said, we don't have to focus much on the formula. It's about the concept which is more important. The next part is work experience. Now, if you're talking about work experience, for those of you who are students, freshers without work experience, guys, it's a subject knowledge for you. Yes, they can also ask about internships. So it is, if you don't have any work experience, they can get to the internships that you have done. But for those with work experience, this is what you need to prepare. There are basically 3 levels that you have to prepare. One is, which industry are you working in? So based on the industry that you're working in, there will be questions related to the industry, especially if that particular industry is making news for whatever reason. Okay, that is one. Next is company related questions. Which company are you a part of? Is the company in news for something? Who are the top level people in the company? What is the company products? What are the company's products? Where all does it sell? In India, in abroad? All the things related to the company. The more time you spend in the company, the more they expect you to know about this. For example, if you're in TCS or Infosys, they will expect you to know who are your top clients, how much money the company makes, how much money the company makes from abroad, overseas, how much the company makes from India, Indian clients, overseas clients, effect of recession overseas to your company. All of these things they expect you to know. And then the third level is about your day-to-day job, your actual job. What is the project you're working on? What is the need for this project? Who is your current client? How is the work that you're doing going to affect or help the client? What is the need for this project at all in the first place? Why can't they look at this particular option? Why can't they look at this particular option? Especially if you're going a bit more on the IT side, which platform are you working? Why this platform? Why not that platform? Why did you choose this? Why not that? All of such questions can come. Okay, so these are the type of questions that can come from your work experience. Now the next almost important area, 100% case again, is why do you want to do an MBA? So they want to hear from you. Friend, you are sitting in front of me, you are ready to spend 20 lakhs, 15 lakhs, whatever, spend 2 years of your life, you are either working or you can be getting a job if you are in the college, but you want to study for 2 more years. Why? What's your game plan? Why do you want to do that? Obviously, one simple answer is, sir, I want to make money. Unfortunately, they don't want to hear that. So you need to make an answer without telling them that you want money. So how should that answer be? What is that logic that you're going to put to them? That is what is about why MBA. Okay. And people really are afraid of this because many of them do MBA because others are doing. They really don't understand the value of an MBA. Right? So you need to frame an answer where you have to first logically define your goal. What is your goal 15 years from now, 20 years from now? You are the age of 20, 22, 25 years, whatever age. By the age of 40, 45 years, where do you see yourself? First, answer that to yourself, honestly. Once you do that, once you define your goal, next you will have to say, how will this MBA help me reach that place? Guys, remember, an analogy is you want to go from point A to point B. Without knowing that point B, you know point A because that is where you are. But if you don't know where that point B is, how do you know whether you're going to take a train, a bus, a flight or bike or just walk? You have to define your destination. Only then the mode of transport is can be zeroed on. Your mode of transport is analogous to your MBA right now. It is going to help you go from here to there. But what is that there that you have to define first? Okay, and then once you define that, you'll automatically be able to tell why MBA is going to help you get there. It could be that MBA is going to help you get there faster. For whatever other reason, you can come up with the reasons later. First, define the goal. Okay, so as I said, build a story now to set your goal. So now goal cannot come randomly. There has to be a story in your life why this goal has come. So if you're saying that I want to do this, why? Where did that story start from? You have to say, sir, this is the first time I thought about it. This experience of mine at this particular point in life gave me this exposure, because of which I started getting interested. That entire story should build to your goal. So it should be like a movie story, nicely telling them, I want to do this because this is what happened in my life. This is what I learned. This is what I experienced. Because of this, I thought it's good that if I do this, but to do this, I want an MBA because this is how the MBA will help me. That is how the structure of the logic should fit into the place. Okay. Typically have a short-term and long-term goal. As I said, long-term goal first you have to define. Short-term goal is actually easier because if you're talking about 5 years down the line, 2 years anyway gone in the college. After 2 years, 2 to 3 years you'll be working, getting experience. It's very easy to define a 5-year goal. But 15-year goal is where you need to spend some time. Okay. This is a very, very common, I'll not call it a mistake, but a common answer that everybody says. Sir, I want to start something of my own. Bhai, kyun? Sabko kuch naya chalu karna hai. Everybody wants to become an entrepreneur. Boss, who's going to work for you then? Everybody wants to become an entrepreneur. So who is going to become, let's say, a CFO or a CEO or somebody else? Everybody wants to become a promoter. You need good executioners also. Why do you want to become an entrepreneur? Is there a very compelling reason? There's so many students I've mentored throughout my life, and I'm mentoring even this year, who say that, sir, I want to start something of my own, but I don't know what, I don't know why, I don't know when. When you don't know any of these things, please think of how your life will be without being an entrepreneur and stick to that. Nobody's going to give you extra marks because you're saying that you're going to become an entrepreneur. In fact, if you can't justify why you want to become an entrepreneur, you will lose marks. This is one of the very tricky areas. Unless you're very sure why you want to do entrepreneurship, don't get into that route at all. Okay? Now, if you are a graduate, let's say typically an engineering side, and then you did job, you've been working, and then you want to do an MBA, it is not a natural transition. What is a natural transition? You are a technical person like me. I have done my MBA, I have done my engineering, I'm a mechanical engineer, then worked for 1 year in a marketing company. So look at me, I've gone from engineering to marketing, no link. I have worked in a marketing company for 1 year, then I got into IIM Indore, did my MBA from IIM Indore. So when they asked me in the interview, boss, you are a mechanical engineer, you are working in a marketing company, you want to do MBA, what is the link for this? So you need to have an answer why I moved. So what is the continuity there? You need to understand the continuity. In my case, my job to MBA was continuous because from marketing to MBA was continuous. It's logical. But I had to explain to them why engineering to my marketing job which is not related. So that explanation I gave them, why I did that in my life, why my interest in marketing started, how did I end up in this kind of a job, why I did not take up a typical engineering job, as a mechanical engineer in some of the companies. So I explained that entire story to them and then said, sir, because of this, I took up a marketing job, I learned for the last 1 year and then realized that I can continue this for another 7-8 years and then do an MBA, or I also realized that I can do a 2-year MBA right now and learn about these things faster. It is a natural transition for me from my marketing role to an MBA college, but my explanation was more about why from engineering to marketing, which is not at all related. Similarly, many of you would be doing an IT job from an engineering background, which is not a, let's say, computer science or an IT engineer. So boss, you're an electrical engineer, you're doing coding and whatnot, God knows what. You are a chemical engineer, you're doing coding there. Why did this happen? And now you're doing coding there, you want to do an MBA. Why are you running all over the place? That's how they'll put the question. So you need to explain to them the logical reason why from A to B you went and from B to C you want to go. Okay. The next set of questions I'm going to talk to you about are HR questions. So what are these HR questions? Let's quickly take a look. First question they're going to talk to you about are strengths and weaknesses. So tell me something about your strengths. Tell me some of your strengths, Mr. Srinivas. So that's how the questions can come. Similarly about weaknesses. Then they can talk about ethical dilemmas and scenarios. So first of all, before we get into ethical dilemmas and scenarios, let's take a look at strengths and weaknesses. So ideally, you should prepare 3 strengths and 2 weaknesses. Strength is something which you are good at, which helps you do things and go forward in life. It could be, one of the strengths could be that you are always punctual. It could be that you have great memory power. I'm just giving you examples. All of these are strengths. You are highly analytical, whatever. But please don't say I am this. You need to have, for every strength, there should be 2 to 3 examples in your life where the strength has been displayed. Otherwise, the strength is useless. Sir, I am punctual. I can't explain how I am punctual. Useless. You have to tell how you are punctual. Or you can say that, sir, in the last 4 years of my college, not one day I have missed my college, not one class I was late by even a minute. In fact, I have a special recognition for that. You have something for that, good for you. Otherwise, you can at least confidently say, I have never done this. I've never been late. Or if you're saying you're highly analytical, how will you back it up? Sir, I'm really analytical. For example, this is what happened in this scenario. I thought like this. I could come up with a solution. I came up with this. Or, sir, I'm really analytical, because of which I have one of my hobbies as chess. I have been playing chess for the last 10 years in my life. I am the chess captain in my college and I have made my team win the second or the first prize or whatever. So if you notice, you have to connect some parts of your characteristics to these strengths with live examples from your life, because expect them to ask you further questions about these examples so that they check whether what you're saying is true or false. So don't expect them to take you at face value. When you say something, they will ask you questions to see is it true or false. Yes, if you really thoroughly fake it, you can still manage it. If you are a really good liar, you thought about all the angles, well, that's fine. But I would never suggest that you make up a story of it. Stick to your true examples. Stick to your true scenarios in your life. Don't try to come up with random scenarios which never happened in your life, because when questions come in, you will falter. And the worst thing that can happen is getting caught in a lie. Your interview is over. Okay. Then similarly for weaknesses, a weakness, again, crappy answers all over the internet saying that you can pass a strength as a weakness. Boss, strength already they asked. They are not asking you for another strength. They are clearly saying what is your weakness. Why are they asking you this? Because nobody in this world is perfect. If that is the case, then do you know what your flaws are? If you are a person who does not even understand yourself properly, then you are not an MBA material. Because when I am making a decision, I should know what my weaknesses are, which can affect my decision. I should be possessing that knowledge in me, so that when I make a decision, I am aware of it. I can still make a wrong decision, but knowingly if I go, I will try to mitigate the losses. That is the way to understand this. So when they ask you a weakness, talk about something that is hindering you, stopping you from achieving something. Okay. And Here again, 2 or 3 examples where this weakness has stopped you from doing something. But an extra part about weakness is knowing that you have a weakness is not enough. What are you doing to overcome the weakness? What is your plan to overcome the weakness? That is something they will expect you. Okay. The next part is ethical dilemmas and scenarios. This is very simple, guys. Whenever morality or ethics are involved, they will put you a question where you have to, they are forcing you to take an unethical or immoral decision. You will never take a decision like that. Whenever they give you a scenario, you will, no matter how ridiculous they sound, no matter how much they're laughing at your face, you will say with a straight face, sir, this in my principle, it is wrong. We are not supposed to do it. Irrespective of the consequences, I will not do it. They'll say, oh, you lose your job, you're going to make crores of losses to your company, you'll still do it. Sir, doesn't matter. I cannot live with myself knowing that I have broken my principles. I will not do it. End of story. So no matter how bad a scenario they project you in, you should never go away from ethical route and the moral route. Keep that in mind. Okay. The next question they can ask you is your greatest achievement and the greatest failure. What did you achieve the highest? Why do you feel this is the greatest achievement? Now, when I say greatest achievement, doesn't have to be academic, doesn't have to be winning in sports. It can be anything personally also. And greatest failure. Why did you fail? Did you learn anything from the failure? That is what they want to know. They can ask you questions about role model. Please remember, when you're talking about role model, you should know everything about your role model. Everything. Many of them say, I have my role model as Ratan Tata, this person, that person. Great, no problem. Know their life story, know their successes, know their failures, understand why they failed, understand their weaknesses, understand their strengths. Please remember, when I already said that nobody can be without a flaw, even your role models will have flaws. So when somebody points them out to you, you can say, sir, I understand there are weaknesses in that person. However, I love the strengths, the things that he's done. I agree that he's done some mistakes. Nobody's flawless. I value him for what he's done. Yes, I know he's done some mistakes. Get out. Don't argue. No, sir, he did that because of this, he did that because of that. No. Just get out of the argument there. Okay? Then the next very important question is hobbies. Now, when I say very important, I'm not saying this is 100% asked. In fact, the percentage is only 50%. The question is only asked 50% of the times. But if they ask this question to you, then the question becomes insanely important, because see, I am asking you about a subject, let's say in your subject knowledge, or about your job. You may or may not like your job. You may or may not like your subject. Hobbies. Did anybody force you to pick a hobby? Did anybody say start playing cricket? No. You picked hobby all by yourself. So when you pick something of your own accord, of your own will, they expect you to be serious about the hobby and do justice to their expectation, which is know about your hobby thoroughly. And what is a good hobby? There is nothing called a good or a bad hobby. You can have a hobby as watching movies, binge watching series, provided you can have a conversation about these type of things for about 10-15 minutes with insights. Talk about the production houses, talk about the way in which they market, talk about the directors, talk about the difference in the genres, talk about how, let's say, many of you are nowadays watching Netflix, this, that and all. There are so many different types of series that are coming out. You have good series like Ragnarok from the northern part, the northern Europe, Finland or some such place. You have Russian series coming in, you have a lot of Korean series coming in. Can you compare and contrast the difference between the cultures that you observe in these kind of series? That is the talking point that you want to have. Nothing is trivial. You can say anything is your hobby, provided you show substance and depth in it. You can't just say, sir, I just watch movies and do nothing else about it. No, if it is like that, you better start gaining knowledge about the movies or the series for that matter. You have no choice, guys. If they ask, you cannot say that, no, I just like to sit and sleep, or I just like to watch movies, nothing else. Then you will come across as a very, very silly student and you will be just thrown out. If you want to get through, first make sure that you develop knowledge on your hobby. If you already have, very good. If you don't, if you're a casual player, many people say, sir, I play chess, but I don't know about what is happening in the world of chess. Not acceptable. Many of them say, sir, I play badminton as a hobby, but I don't follow what is happening about badminton. No, you need to know who are the champions, how many championships are there, how is the rating given, who are the top rated people right now, men's, women, everything. That is what they expect you to know. You better know it. Okay. So I think we already discussed quite a bit of it, why it is asked, demeanor, etc. The next thing and the last 1 or 2 parts is your GK about your state and city, any history of your state, any history of your city, if any famous battles have been won or have taken place in your city or state, any particular reason why your state is in the news, your city is in the news, currently why is it in the news, all of these things. Secondly, who are the people who are governing your state, the ruling party, the opposition, the members of the ruling party, the members of the opposition, your views on them, all of this is expected. Okay, next is about India. So how many states are there, how many union territories are there, what is the basic structure of our union of states, basically India as a country. A lot of discussion which is happening today. Elections are coming up in this year right now, so basic information about in our legislative assembly, Lok Sabha, how many seats are there, Rajya Sabha, how many seats are there, how are Lok Sabha members elected, how are Rajya Sabha members elected, basic structure which any 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th class student would have learned in their civics and social studies basically. So these things you are expected to know. Okay, and please go back for the last 2 to 3 months starting from November, December, January. Make sure that any information about these places that has come out in the last 3 months you should know. Okay. Now the other question that they can ask you is, how will you answer if they ask you what other calls you have? Now, one way to look at it is, they will not know in a CAT interview, that is in an IIM interview or any interview related to CAT, whether you've written a ZAT exam or not. So you can basically say that, sir, I only wrote CAT, I did not write ZAT, and these are the calls I have. But what calls you have, don't lie. Because given your percentile, given your scores, given your ACADs, they can expect you to have certain calls. So if you really blatantly lie, say you got a 99 percentile, you don't want to tell them that you got this call and that call, they will know you got the call. If you lie to them, they will be very cautious and say, oh, are you sure you didn't have a call? And then they'll catch you in the lie. So be honest to them as far as that exam is concerned. Okay. Now the other question they'll ask you is, if you have these calls, they will ask you, okay, where do you want to join? Now there are 2 scenarios in this. First, you are giving the interview for the best college of the calls that you have. Straightforward, you can very humbly say, sir, I'm very happy to have got all these calls. However, given a choice, I'll be glad to be a part of your college. I would love being associated with your college, and I would like to be called an alumni of your college. Why? Talk about 1 or 2 good reasons. Second scenario, the interview you're giving is not the best of the case. I mean, you are not the best of the college. You have probably it's in the 3rd or 4th in the group that you got calls from. In that case, if you say, no sir, I will join you, they will also understand that you've got a Ahmedabad call or a Bangalore call and you're saying that you're going to join a 15th or a 14th ranked college. They will not believe you. There again, you have to be humble in saying that, sir, I'm really fortunate to have got calls from these top tier institutes. My job, or rather my aim, is to get quality education, and I believe that purpose will be served by any of these colleges. I'll be glad to be a part of any of these colleges. If they push you once more, say, no, tell me which college you want. Sir, I'm not a person who can really judge the goodness or the merit of a college, because I'm a nobody right now. I'm just 20 years. Colleges have been there for decades. However, based on my little understanding, sir, I believe this college is, these are my top 3 preferences, A, B, C, D, E. So this college is the 3rd or 4th in my list. Be honest. Don't say, no, yours is the best. They will also understand that you're just faking and they will not like it. But you cannot say that, no sir, you are not the best, so I'll go for them. That also you cannot say. So you have to balance the act. You have to massage their ego a little, saying that, boss, you are not the best, I understand, but you are also really good. They are also really good. It's a tough choice. Unke paas jaunga main, but you are really good. That's how you need to manage it. Ultimately, that's how you need to put it across. Okay. And of course, with whichever scenario it is, you need to know about all the colleges. You cannot say that, sir, I don't know about that college, but I applied for it and I'm giving an interview. No, you're going to an interview, you better know about the college that you're going to. The next point is how do you talk to the panelists? Talk very slow. Please don't be very fast. Many of you are very fast. Reduce your speed deliberately. Guys, it serves two purposes. One, whatever you want to say, they will understand clearly because you're speaking slow. Two, it will give you time to form the thoughts in your mind. When you speak very fast, before you make the next statement, the first statement is over and the second statement is not formed in your brain and you're stuck. And you will not get chance to think what will they say if I make this statement, because you're speaking very fast. When you speak slow, you will have time to think, okay, if I say this statement, what can they potentially talk about? Therefore, there are cases where you will realize, oh, it's better not to talk about it. So speak slow. It will give you ample time to react to a situation which would otherwise become very uncontrollable. Okay. Now, energy is something which is very, very important. If you notice, I am speaking with force. I'm speaking with a lot of stress on my words. You see that my voice has not been constant throughout. It is going up, going down, stressful, less stressful, more relaxed sometimes, less relaxed sometimes. You can see there's a difference in my demeanor. My hands are moving all over the place. This is because it's not an interview. But in your interview, keep your hands to yourself. Keep them on the table like this. But your voice, you can probably take your hands up to here a little bit, but don't take them all over the place. That is acceptable. You're explaining things to them, you're moving your hands, but the voice should showcase your interest. The voice should showcase your energy. And when I say voice, not shouting, the excitement. Shouting is different, excitement is different. Okay. I already talked about tone, pitch, all this. I think, yes, the other thing is sometimes if you are stumped, they ask you a question which you really didn't expect, you are caught off guard. What do? Smile, ask them, sir, I really didn't think about this till now. Can I take a moment? Take a moment, collect your thoughts, answer them. Whatever it is, answer them with logic. You don't have to jump to an answer then and there. Slowly tell them, sir, smile and say, sir, I actually never thought about it. Give me a moment, sir. I'll probably be able to come up with an answer. See if you can. If you can't, you can always say, sorry, sir, I'm unable to come up with an answer. Nothing wrong in saying, sorry, I don't know the answer. Many people feel that saying sorry is the end of the world. No, it is not. Saying sorry is not the end of the world, my friends. Please keep this in mind. Okay? Whenever you're confident about your answer, you should show that confidence. And when you're not sure, ask their permission. Sir, I'm not really sure. Can I take a guess? Don't guess randomly. Tell them you're guessing so that they know you are making an effort. Okay? Next. This is one important thing. Don't ever bluff, my friends. Never bluff. Bluffing is the worst you can do. Because when you bluff, they will catch the bluff. Alright? Please don't bluff in your answers. Don't lie in your answers as much as possible. And as much as possible, smile. Don't smile when they are making fun of you. Does not mean that you have to keep a very serious face, but have a pleasant face. Have a small smile. And if you get an occasion, smile a bit more. Okay. One last thing. Never ever argue with the panel. They will try to provoke you. They will try to take you into an argument. And you get carried away and say that if I prove them wrong, I will get selected. No. You are trying to prove two gentlemen who are each double your age wrong in something that they know they are not. Most often than not, you are wrong, and in picking an argument, you are going to irritate them or to fall into their trap. Guys, think about it. They don't know you. Why are they arguing with you? Simply because they want to see, are you a student who understands logic and accepts them, or are you a student who's going to bulldoze his way irrespective of whether you're right or wrong? If you are at fault, if they prove to you you're wrong and you understand that you're wrong, tell them, sir, thank you for the insight. I was really I never really thought about it from this angle. Yes, you're right. I will correct myself. Over. Nothing wrong in that. In fact, the thing that is wrong will be, having proven that you're wrong, you're adamantly sticking to your point, saying that no, I am right. Then you are like a kid. Like a small 2-year, 3-year-old kid who says, I am always right. That's how they'll treat you and say, okay, fine, tata, goodbye. Sometimes, deliberately they provoke you. Even if they know you are right, they will provoke you. Why do they do that? To see in that case, how will you respond? Again, in that case, doesn't mean that you have to accept that you're wrong. Say that politely, because you know it's a trap. You will know that they are deliberately, bringing up things which don't really matter in this scenario. Smile and politely say that, sir, I understand your point of view. However, these are the facts, and this doesn't really, again, the language you have to use has to be very polite. You should not say that, hey, you are wrong, I'm right, or try to prove something in that manner. You will not get a brownie point by proving them wrong. Please keep that aside. It's an obvious trap you're falling into. Okay? As I said, they will be very friendly with you sometimes. You will have to maintain your reserve. Irrespective of how friendly they are, you are supposed to maintain your reserve. You are supposed to maintain your boundary in terms of the way you speak to them. You will always address them, sir, ma'am. You will always be very formal. My father, my mother, not my mom and dad. My brother, sister. You will use a full word, not slang at all. Okay? As I said, use simple language. All right. Now the next thing is handling the unknown. Now, as I said, I don't know. You can use it politely. It's not the end of the world. Say sorry that you don't know. Fine, nothing wrong. People feel bad saying this. Don't. It is accepted. Okay. When you don't know 2 questions or 3 questions, don't feel flustered, because the 4th question might come to you which you know, and you should be able to crack it. See, when they're asking you 3 or 4 questions that you don't know, you are naturally going to be pressured. I understand that. But the person who comes out of the pressure is the person who can handle pressure. So sometimes if they want to really pressure you, they're going to ask you questions which they know you don't know the answer to, randomly. And then suddenly they'll ask you a question which you are expected to know. You also know that answer, but because of the pressure, you are not able to put forward the point properly. And game over. It means you are not a person who can handle pressure. So keep waiting. It's like, cricket. There is a bouncer after bouncer coming to you. Wait for that one good ball that you can hit for a 4 or a 6. You don't try to meddle all the balls, right? So that's basically the logic that you have to use here. As I said, I think we have already discussed that. Getting off guard, what happens if they trap you, all of that. Yes, now this is very important. A post-lunch or late evening interview. So what is the problem with post-lunch or late evening? Guys, after lunch, please remember they are all in their 50s. They have the lunch, they will be a bit lethargic. Had a good lunch, now yaar kaun aayega, koi bakra aayega, let's see what he says. That's the mood that they'll be in. Or they are at almost 6 o'clock, they are say like, okay, only 3 more interviews, let's finish them off very fast. We need to go back home. That's the mood they are in. They are not robots you can imagine that, no sir, they should do justice to us. Remember, they are also human beings. Whether they do justice to you or not, that is their behavior. You can't deal with it. You can't avoid it. It is there. So you have to be smart to plan and prepare accordingly. So how should you prepare in such a scenario? First, you have to not make up for, you have to take care and cover up their lethargy. How do you do that? basically by being extra energetic. See, when somebody he's sitting in front of you talking energetically and talking with a lot of interest, even a person who's sleeping will be waking up and listening to the person. In fact, some of the lecturers who will put you to sleep post lunch are the people who are talking very dry. They don't have excitement in their voice, they don't have any new things to talk about. They are like, okay, I have to do my job and go. Such a lecturer or such a class that you have at 2 o'clock or 1:30 in the afternoon post lunch, you'll start falling asleep. This is what will happen to them also if you don't show the interest. So especially if it is post lunch or late evening interviews, you have to be extra energetic compared to normally what a morning interview will be. Morning interview, you are fresh, they are fresh, well, all hunky-dory. But these two phases of the interviews, you have to put that extra energy from you. If needed, have 2 cups of coffee, let that caffeine drive you, right? But please make sure that enthusiasm is visible in you, okay? And in such a case, the introduction has to be electrifying. That 1.5 minutes, they should wake up and say, wow, this guy is good. So in such a scenario, your introduction becomes all the more important because it will wake them up and make them realize that you are a very potential candidate. So let's take this guy seriously, because they're already in a sleepy mood at that point. Might be, I'm not saying they will be, might be. So please make sure that your introduction, and that's one of the reasons why I'm saying introduction is extremely important for you. Okay. Finally, how should you end the interview? They'll ask you, do you have any questions for us? So should you ask any questions? Depends. There's nothing wrong in not asking. I would say play safe, sis. Thanks a lot for your opportunity, sir. I don't have any further questions. But if you genuinely have any questions, please first ask these questions to your mentor, wherever you are getting the training from. Ask, is it a valid question? If the mentor says yes, you can ask them, please go and ask them the question. Don't randomly ask something that you've prepared then and there. Please don't ask anything that suddenly comes to your mind. Don't. It's a pre-planned question. If you have, you ask. Otherwise, don't. Okay? If online, please wait till they ask you to log off. Don't just say, okay, we are done with the interview, then you cut and go out. No, please wait. Or you can ask them, sir, can I log out now? They'll say yes, then you log out. Okay? If it is offline, they say, any questions? You will say, no, sir, thank you for the opportunity. I don't have any further questions. Then you'll say, okay, fine, Mr. Srinivas, you can leave. Then slowly get up, say, thank you, sir. Thanks for your time. And once again, both 2 or 3 panelists, how many ever they are, individually, please talk to them and thank them individually and then walk out. Okay. Put the chair back in the position, close the door when you're going out. You have to leave the things the way they are when you go out. Okay. As I said, don't overthink. Some colleges, they just, do you want to have a chocolate? They have a bowl of chocolates. Many people overthink. If I take, what does it mean? If I don't take, nothing. You take or you don't take, it means nothing. In fact, if I were in your place, I will say that, you want to have a chocolate, Mr. Srinivas? Sir, do you mind if I take 2? Smile. I really love chocolates. Simple. It's just letting one personality of yours come out. What's the harm? Nothing. It is not that you're greedy. You're being nice. You're asking, sir, I love these chocolates. You're making you're making yourself known to them in a way, and nothing harm in knowing that you like chocolates, right? So please make sure that such questions you don't overthink. Okay. Well, my friends, that brings me to the end of the session. I hope you have enjoyed and learned a lot from today's session. If you really liked, please give me a like on this video. Subscribe to our channel. We'll be back to you with a lot of such sessions. And we also have a link at the end of this session where you can share your details to us with any queries that you have. And we will definitely come back to you with the answers to these queries, right? Thank you, my friends. All the very best in your interview preparations. See you in my next one.